You're 94. I wonder what kind of life wisdom you have for the group.
Judy, let's move on.
Okay. See how well I knew my dad?
No, but this is, I think one of the points of cognitive therapy is to be humanistic and optimistic, and to like other people, connect with other people, but also be optimistic in your own life. And if you are, you're going to have a much happier life than otherwise. So that's what I would say is the secret. So.
And if people are not necessarily born with an optimistic bent, is optimism something you think that can be learned?
Yeah, and you can learn optimism by deciding that you're going to look at the positive side of things. Because many things in life, perhaps most things, have either a positive or a negative. And you can look at the negative, or you can focus on the positive element. And I noticed that in myself. No matter what happens, it seems I always make a virtue of it. Like if I want to go outside and get a lot of sunshine, and it starts to rain, then I think, oh, that's great. Now I can go indoors and work on a paper. Or if somebody doesn't answer a phone call, then I think, well, that's good because probably he or she is too busy, and that's a good reason for them not. So I try to make a virtue of adversity, even when other people might consider this adverse. So it's one way.
You know, and I've seen this really show up in your work in recent years when you've talked about the importance of focus.
Right.
You want to say, talk for a minute about that?
You can. It depends in life on what you focus on. For example, if I was going to have a surgical operation and somebody said, you know, there's a 10% probability that you're going to die, or I would focus on, well, there's a 90% probability that I'm going to get over this, and I'll be well and healthy and happy. So it's a question as to what you focus on. And people who are depressed, of course, tend to focus on the negative. And so part of our therapy consists of what we call the mastery and pleasure principle, which is focusing on the things that you have accomplished, that you're accomplishing now, even though they are very difficult. And particularly if they're difficult, it's so much more empowering if you can do something that's difficult rather than something that's easy. And the same thing for pleasure. People tend to be genetically wired to be able to attach more significance to the negatives than to the positives. And so it does take training the mind to focus on what's good. And what you'll find is that there are more good things that are happening than bad things, but the bad things tend to overshadow the good things. And so it is a question of focus.